Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well and having a fantastic week. In today's video we are going to be talking about apple cider vinegar and the benefits that it has for your birds. Now I'm going to be talking about what it contains, why it's so good, what kind to get as well, because there are different kinds. Olive is snuffling away, she likes her apple cider vinegar. And I'm also going to tell you some of the kind of health benefits of it, but I will stress that if your bird has a problem, if it has any kind of ailment, please take it straight to an avian vet. Please don't sort of look for holistic solutions and things online. Get a vet's opinion. And in fact, a lot of vets will actually recommend apple cider vinegar for a variety of ailments, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. So here is my apple cider vinegar, and as you may guess, it is made from apples. They are fermented twice, and that creates a lovely blend of enzymes and all of the health benefits that you would find in the right apple cider vinegar. Now when you're getting an apple cider vinegar for your bird, it does need to be raw, it needs to be organic, unpasteurised and with the mother. This is the one that I use, it's the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I've been using it for ages, I even take some sometimes, and I trust this brand, which is why I always get it. If you want to get your own, I do have it down in my Amazon store, but there are other ones you can get. You do need to make sure that it is all of the things I said above, with the mother, unpasteurised and everything. If you get a kind of distilled vinegar like you find usually in the supermarket, that is just not good enough. It doesn't have any enzymes in there, it doesn't have any goodness, it's just not a good vinegar. You do need to get one like this, and then you know it's got all of the benefits in there. Now I did say that apple cider vinegar needs to have something called the mother in there, and you're probably thinking, what on earth is that? That is the kind of solid part that you'll find at the bottom. It looks gross, but actually that's what the vinegar is supposed to have. And the mother is essentially a culture of microbes, and it contains loads of enzymes, prebiotics and acetic acid, and that's where all the goodness is. And when you're feeding this to your birds, you need to shake it all up to mix the mother with the rest of the liquid, and then you know it's going to have all the goodies in there. So yeah, it does need to have the mother. It looks gross, but that's where all the goodness is. So this is also awesome for your bird because it's packed full of vitamins and minerals, things like vitamin C, E, B1, B2 and B6. And it's also packed full of trace minerals like calcium, potassium and magnesium. So loads of goodies in here, even more than I listed, but I'm not just going to reel off information. I will add some extra links down below if you want to do a bit more research into this. But this is awesome. I've also used this in many of my jobs where I've been a bird keeper, especially with things like poultry and waterfowl. This is kind of a staple tonic, and it really does provide some great health benefits when you provide it to your birds in the right way. Now I'm going to talk about a few of the health benefits that apple cider vinegar has and some of the things it can help with, but as I said, this isn't a kind of treatment necessarily for these ailments. Please do speak to your avian vet. So starting off, apple cider vinegar is actually fantastic for aiding digestion and potential yeast problems within the crop and digestive system as a whole. So that is really awesome. It's something that birds can be susceptible to, especially if they have a high sugar or processed diet. So apple cider vinegar can be brilliant with helping with that. It can also help with dry, itchy skin. You can make up a solution to spray onto your bird's feathers as long as it's quite a weak solution. Again, I'm going to talk about that later on in the video, and it is brilliant for kind of sorting out any skin issues, any minor skin irritations, things like that, and dry, itchy skin. Also benefits to feeding it to birds with joint problems, things like arthritis, and especially for older birds as well, because the way that the acid in apple cider vinegar actually interacts with calcium deposits in the joints, which often cause a lot of joint problems. One of the great added benefits of apple cider vinegar is that it also strengthens the immune system and has anti-inflammatory properties. So it's super important, and it's great for feeding as an all-round tonic. Even for very healthy birds, it really helps to build up that immune system and make them very healthy going forward. There are also some reports that it can help with some minor respiratory issues, but again, that is something I really stress that you do need to talk to your vet about, because I don't want people to think that if there's something wrong with a bird, they can just go and get a bottle of apple cider vinegar and everything's, you know, solved and everything's fine. Do consult with a professional, but you can have these things in the cupboard and then you can use them to kind of supplement your bird's treatment from any of these kind of issues. And the final thing, although not conclusive of course, but I wanted to give you a few examples of things that apple cider vinegar can help with, is it can actually help in combination with treatments to treat things like fatty liver disease, which is quite common for galahs, budgies and amazons. This is obviously a serious disease that needs to be checked out with an avian vet, but it can be used in supplementation with this to help with this condition. So those are a few things it can help with, but as I said, it's also a brilliant all-round tonic. You can feed it to your healthy birds, and it's what we do with our flock. They get it on a regular basis, and it just helps to kind of keep them in tip-top condition. So now I've bombarded you with why apple cider vinegar is good, let's talk about how to provide it to your birds. Now, generally speaking, you don't want to provide it more than about 1 week per every month, and you want to do a dilution of roughly 1 milliliter of apple cider vinegar per 100 millilitres of water. You can increase the dose depending on what you're trying to help with, but that is a kind of standard dose. If you find that the apple cider vinegar at 1 ml to 100 is too strong, you can reduce that and slowly build up your bird's tolerance, because of course it's a different taste and they might be a bit sensitive to it. But all of ours drink it quite happily, but do just keep an eye on your bird. Don't kind of give it to them and then go out for the day because you don't know whether they are going to drink it or not. Also, ideally you don't want your bird bathing in a bowl of apple cider vinegar. However, you can spray it on their feathers. So the dilution for spraying on your bird's body is the same for the drinking water. It's 1 ml of apple cider vinegar to 100 ml of water, and just be careful not to kind of spray it on their face, but it's not going to cause much harm. If you do accidentally get a little bit on them, they'll be absolutely fine. So now I'm going to show you how to prepare the apple cider vinegar in your bird's water, just so you know how to do it and how I do it. So I'll show that to you now.
So to offer apple cider vinegar to your birds, you first need to know how much water your bowls hold. Now mine holds 150 millilitres of water, so using the ratio of 1 millilitre of apple cider vinegar to 100 millilitres of water, I know that I need 1.5 millilitres of the apple cider vinegar. You can see it there, and you can see these sort of solid bits. That's perfectly normal, that's the mother. And that's what is really good for them, as well as the whole liquid. So what I do to start off with is give this a really good shake to mix up the solid mother at the bottom with the whole of the liquid. Pour some into a ramekin so I can measure it out easier. I don't want to waste loads, so I pour roughly as much as I need. Then I get a plastic syringe. This is something I use always for the apple cider vinegar, and I give it a wash afterwards. And then I will just draw up enough for 1.5 ml. So I will take some and then just draw it down. So that's about 1.5 ml. I'll pop it into the water and then just use the syringe to give it a little swirl around, and then it's ready to serve.
I also mentioned in the video that you can have some apple cider vinegar with your birds. You can have a slightly higher dosage because obviously we are bigger than our birds. It also has great benefits for humans too, and I do partake in a little bit myself. It doesn't taste nice, but I mix it with a bit of juice and it makes it a little bit more palatable for me. It's also really important to know that you can actually give your birds too much apple cider vinegar. Now, of course, it's very acidic, so we want to be really careful about the dosage we're giving to our birds. As I said, my vet has advised me in the past that I can give a higher dose for certain problems. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want people, taking this out of context. However, if you give a high dosage to your birds, it can cause a lot of problems in the digestive system because it's very acidic. So go for the dosage I said, 1 ml to 100, and of course take veterinary advice if you are looking to kind of use it in terms of a treatment to a problem. One of the other things that it can cause is diarrhea, which is obviously never pleasant, but it can cause that kind of problem because it is messing with the digestive system. So just be aware of that and be very mindful about how much you're giving to your bird. In addition to this, it can actually burn your bird's mouth and digestive system. As I said, it can cause these problems because they are drinking it. So stick to the very mild dilutions and just make sure your bird is actually enjoying it as well. And finally, one of the other problems it can cause is actually a calcium deficiency because of the way that it interacts with calcium. As I mentioned before, with joint problems, it does break down calcium deposits in the joints, which is why it can help with joint problems. But too much of it, a load of apple cider vinegar, like giving it every single day as well, can cause these sorts of problems too. So stick to what I've said. So just to recap, I'll put it here. You want to have 1 ml per 100 ml of apple cider vinegar, and you want to give it for roughly 1 week per month. So during that 1 week in the month, you can give it for the 7-day period, and then for the rest of the month, you don't give it. So 7 days straight, and then the rest of the month is free from it, and then you'll know that your bird is getting that benefit of apple cider vinegar. Give it a little bit less, that's fine, but you don't want to be doing it every single day because it's not ideal for your birds to do that. But it has so many health benefits, it's worth giving to your birds because it can really help keep their health in tip-top condition. So that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you found it interesting, learning a little bit more about why apple cider vinegar is great for your birds. If you'd like to know anything else, you have any other questions, do let me know down in the comments, as I'd love to speak to you. Again, if you want to get your hands on the one that I have, I've got it down in my Amazon store. But yeah, I hope your birds enjoy trying out some apple cider vinegar. Let me know what they think. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care and have a great day.